Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Rory Reid from RoryReidArt.com, and today we have a fun little piece that we're going to speak about. This was just a quick still life that I did. Took about I want to say 2 hours for me to complete, and I was just trying to experiment with a more colorful palette than I'm used to using. Starting off now, I made a crappy little sketch like I always do, and I'm blending in some purples, some turquoise blue, some cerulean blue, and some yellow ochre / green mixes, just laying that down as a first layer, or some people might call that a wash layer. But I usually don't paint with a wash layer most of the time, even though I do occasionally. But on this particular instance, I decided to use just thick paint and put a bottom baseline layer of different colors and different values and different hues, so that when I go over the top of this, I'll still have some of this underlying color show through. So this is, acts as my wash layer, if you want to say that. Just filling in the white canvas now and putting some of that background color as well inside the vase there. It's going to be a clear vase or a transparent vase. So usually when I do this, or when I paint a transparent vase, I just fill the background in as if the vase wasn't there, and then we can play with the values later to sort of define the vase. Using some alizarin crimson now, and I think I added a little bit of like cad red medium in it as well to lighten it up just a little bit. Dropping that down as a first layer as well, just to hold the place and let that dry and set in until I'm ready to go over the top and define it a little bit more. I did want to leave this still life piece very loose, so there's not going to be too much detailing going on, but having a loose style on these still lifes is what I find most appealing to look at, so that's what I decided to go with. Using some of this lighter turquoise blue color now, I just added some white to it, dropped some of that in, and dropped some of the natural cerulean blue, I guess you will, sort of in the mid-tone levels. Those are the strokes that I'm putting in now, just to define the vase and differentiate it from the outline or the outside background as well. Dropping in some lavender colors as well, and I'm kind of doing this on a free flow kind of style. I'm not really being too strict or too rigid to any reference that I'm using. I'm just using, the only reference I had up was of this glass vase. The flowers I designed myself, and the background colors and everything I designed myself. I just used the vase for the shadows and highlights on the glassware itself. And most of the time I'm just using a flat brush here as well to drop everything in. Trying to define the horizon line now. Got it on the lower third there. Is pretty classic place to put it, and works well with the composition of this piece, I feel. And as you can see, when I drop the second layer on the background, the colors are just blended in very nicely. Some of the on the first layer I put in, some of those colors are shining through, and when it all works together, it looks nice and soft. And I'm going to even go over it some more to add a touch more softness to it as well. I darkened down the alizarin crimson color now with one single drop of black and some brown and some dioxazine purple, and that gave me a nice dark color that I dropped in as my second layer. And now I'm just using a liner brush to define roughly some of the stems from the flowers defining those more carefully down into the vase itself. Using that dioxazine purple now and defining some of the shadow areas. Just dropping in these initial brush strokes before I go over it with a clean filbert brush and blend out some of these harsher strokes just a little bit. Adding in some highlights now with the lighter turquoise blue color. Putting a few brush strokes of those on the vase itself. And just using the clean filbert brush to smooth out any area that I, think needs smoothing out. Again, like I said, this was going to be a smooth, loose, expressionistic type painting. So we want to leave a lot of these brush strokes in the piece itself. Using our alizarin crimson again and just meshing some of these brush strokes into the background also, just to exaggerate the looseness. Adding in some cerulean blue color now as well. And I really like this palette, man. The purples into the greens into the blues, always a nice combo. And the reds from the flowers, just the icing on the cake. The reds play well with the blues, purples, and the greens also. So good overall color palette, I believe. And this style of painting is not one that I do very often, but I've kind of grown to love it because it allows the brush strokes to be like the star of the show, as well as your color palette itself, whatever colors you're using. It's a staunch contrast from my more defined pieces where the subject matter itself is the star of the show. So it was good to switch it up from what I normally do. You always learn a lot when you try new styles, and you learn different things that you can incorporate into your overall style that will enhance, what you're doing in the future. So a lot of these blending techniques and interesting brush strokes that I was able to come up with in this piece would work well in one of my larger, more defined pieces. And I've already made plans to include some of this technique into a piece that I'm currently working on of the Museum of Science and Industry. Here's a large 30 by 40 piece. I'm going to go over it with a final layer, adding some colors, some more vibrant colors to it, and using some of the techniques that I've learned from this painting. Just dropping in some Hooker's green now, like on a medium sort of value, to give a little bit of suggested form to the green flower buds, I guess you would call them. And now this painting is mostly finished. As I said, took a quick 2 hours working with acrylic paint, so you have to work in layers, which is why it took that long. If you're working with oils, it probably would be slightly faster, I would assume, as you don't have to wait and layer as much. You can just blend on the go as the paint stays wet most of the time. Just added in a few exaggerated highlights at this time, and this is where we decided to leave this piece. Beautiful colors. Love the brushwork. Very nice. And so here is the final piece. It is titled Still Life 1 by me, RoryReidArt. Link in the description if you're interested in purchasing this piece. Link in the description will be below. Also, guys, follow my Teespring account. It's teespring.com/stores/RoryReidArt. You can find some merch over there that I designed with the logo. Also, follow me on all social media, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at Tripler999. I stream all these paintings on Twitch at Tripler999. I'm on TikTok as well under Tripler999. Other than that, man, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Take it easy. Peace.